myself, what a wonderful world.
Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back, and if you're new, thanks so much for coming here. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to make my Aroid mix. So I've been asked so many times what my ingredients are for my soil, so I thought I'd just go ahead and make a video for you all. The ingredients are as follows. Number one, we have Coco Coir, and Coco Coir is an inert, renewable resource that I absolutely love using. A, because of what I just mentioned. B, it used to be a byproduct, a wasteful byproduct that they didn't have a use for. So hooray for finding a use for waste. And that's actually going to be a couple things on this list. No, it's not, just two things. Yeah, a couple things. Anyway, so Coco Coir is what I use instead of peat moss, because peat moss is mined from the bogs. And while the Canadians do a good job in maintaining the bog life and only mining from a very small percentage of that, not all the world can say the same thing. A lot of wetlands in different areas of the world have disappeared from mining the bogs. So to be preventative, I'm just using the Coco Coir because it's a win-win situation for everybody involved. The next thing that I use is Orchid Bark, and I make sure that I use a chunky Orchid Bark because that is going to allow the soil to aerate itself. It's a perfect amendment to any type of soil. Next to that, another amendment I like to add is Perlite. Perlite is puffed volcanic rock, I believe, puffed volcanic stone or something along those lines. But anyway, it's light, airy, and porous. So that's what I like to use as an amendment. So those are those two amendments. Now, because Coco Coir is innate, it doesn't have any food to give your plants. So what you want to give your plants, I like to offer it an organic material that is a slow release in the form of poop. And it's worm poop, another waste material that is being used proactively, and I love putting that in my soil because my plants love the poop out of it. Anyway, so that's that. And then the fifth ingredient, I'm looking off to the side because that's where everything is piled. The fifth ingredient is going to be activated charcoal. Make sure it's activated and not just charcoal. Activated charcoal is going to ensure that your water is being filtered, adding extra oxygen to the water that's put in there, and it just really helps filter out some of the impurities and maintains the pH of the soil and the water that your plants are getting. But with that being said, I love to water my plants with fresh water or rainwater, or in the winter, snow melted down. So that's that. Now, I don't have percentages for you because I kind of do it just to how it looks, but let's work out some percentages anyway. Another important thing and a great thing about making your own soil is that if you have a heavy watering hand or a light one, you can amend it more or less in accordance to how you water your plants. So that's another bonus. And yeah, let's do this. Let me show you what I got. Love is what I got. I truly feel like I'm forgetting something. Yes, I do remember what I want to say. Let me hide this here. Okay, that's gonna probably crash and burn and whatever. So with my Coco Coir, I'm gonna insert some footage here. I buy a solid brick and I rehydrate it. And I absolutely love doing that for multiple reasons. If you're ordering things online, it's not even that, but if you're I'm gonna break it down. If you're ordering the Coco Coir online, having it dried and dehydrated down into this brick, the packaging is going to be minimal, the shipping is going to be minimal because it's a lighter product, and the storage for you is also going to be minimal. I have multiple bricks that are just stacked in my basement and I just rehydrate them as I need them. Next to that, if you're purchasing them in store, you have to think about the shipping process that happened. The people who are shipping this hydrated Coco Coir is going to be shipping a lot of weight. You're using more gas, just more energy and blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter, more gas, more material that you're using is just big enough reasons to avoid purchasing hydrated Coco Coir. So here's my hydrated Coco Coir, and I absolutely love everything about it. The smell of it, holy moly. The feel of it, and the look of it. Because Coco Coir is fluffy in itself, and it will allow, and it is a type of aeration material, or rather it's a type of like hydroponic, no, I'm not even going to pretend like I know that. It's not soil. So if you pour water all over this, it's not going to get super muddy like when you have peat moss that you keep pouring water on, and it's just going to pack and become a muddy, sludgy mess of a thing that's going to pack your roots up, and you don't want that. This plus all the amendments that we mentioned before, I am one person, this plus all the other amendments that I mentioned before are going to ensure that soil doesn't pack on the roots and inhibit growth. I'm just gonna throw this in here just so we can kind of sort out measurements. I've organized that in half the dish, so we'll call that 50%. Are we going to call that 50%? I kind of want to do 50-50. Orchid Bark and Coco Coir. Okay, so that's 50-50. Now, perlite. You want to make sure that when you're pouring out perlite, you don't want to be breathing in that white smoke that's coming off of it, because that is fine particles that will get into your lungs and it will cause suffrage. Just saying. Don't say I didn't warn you. That smell right there. Stay away from it. It even like lingers low because it's just a nasty, gnarly thing you just don't want in your lungs. Okay, so we'll call this so far, I'm gonna call it like this: 50-50 Orchid Bark and Coco Coir, and then 25-25 worm poop. This is a lifetime supply of shit. 25-25 of perlite and poop. Yeah, get all over my dinner table. Yeah, that's what I want. And activated charcoal. It's Aquatech. I'm gonna link all of this stuff below. So then I'm gonna say like 20% activated charcoal. And I would give you guys a beautiful aerial shot of this, but my phone is situated in a situation. So this is what it looks like right now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give it a nice little mix with my hands. I promise I will get a new camera set up. I'll get a tripod. I'll get an overhead. I'll get a couple different views for you guys so you can enjoy this as much as I do. I'm even just gonna add a bit more orchid bark. And of course, if you are doing this, I would suggest doing it in a larger vessel. I'm just trying to be aesthetically pleasing for YouTube. I'm gonna give you guys some real nice close-up shots of this. Gonna make it look real sexy. Okay, so let me tell you something. This mix is not only good for your plants, it's good for the environment. So yes, it does take a little bit extra work, but it also helps you build a real great connection with your plants, because that means you're a part of every single process that is going on with your plants. So imagine you propagated a plant, watch those roots grow from nothing, you made this soil with your own 2 hands, and then you plant it in there and you watch it grow up to be bigger than you. Like, how satisfying is that? Quite satisfying, if you ask me. Okay guys, so Lowe's to get some orchid bark. They didn't have any because it was off season. And then I went to Canadian Tire. And then I went to Walmart. And then I was sitting in the car, pretty annoyed, trying to figure something out because, you know, now that I got my moss pole situation all sorted out, I wanted to move on to replanting this, and it's been such a long time coming. So, sitting in the car just trying to figure out like what the heck I was gonna do, and then it came to me. I went to PetSmart and I grabbed some reptile bark. It is the exact same thing as orchid bark, except it is not as coarse. It's just a little bit more fine, but it's still coarse enough to be a proper aeration material for my soil. It's imperative to add activated charcoal and perlite at this point because it is not in this, unlike the ProMix. It's definitely in this, but this is very hard to find at this point, being that it's off season. But it's not off season for me. Anyway, thanks again so much for coming to check out my little space. And if you have any questions, drop it in the comments below and hit that bell so you don't miss a beat. And I will see you in the next one. Peace and love. Bye. That's it.